Streaming. We're gonna put bad things into our body. Let's make sure YouTube says we're live. YouTube says we're live. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Strikers Announcement Reaction Party Part 2. I am your host, Spencer Presley, and joining me is 5 Hour Energy Extra Strength Mango.
I actually thought you were starting for a minute. I was like, oh, that's actually a good intro.
No, that was the start. That was me starting it live.
Yep, we're streaming.
Uh-huh.
We're streaming. 11
Okay,
watching
cool.
now.
Oh, I felt like a man just urinated into my mouth very
Yeah,
fastly.
She's loud.
Yeah, that's 5 hour energy.
Ooh,
That's
5 hour
all
energy,
right,
yeah.
baby. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Shin, Megami, Tensei Network, Link 197. I'm your host, Spencer Presley. Very ill, and I mean very ill. But no one is more ill than the marketing firm at Atlas West, but they're not on this episode. Trust me, I tried. Joining me on this episode is going to be a whole heap and heck of a lot of people. And in no particular order is the fearsome Dewsome, that's not a word, from Dual Shockers. I have Ian and Alyssa. How are you guys doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you.
You guys are like the good cop, bad cop of like high energy, low energy. Like she just like not she starts it up and you just like ASMR us into the episode. I appreciate it, Ian. Now, Ian, you have not been on SMTN before, and I will not quiz you on your history, or we're not going to like make you earn your nerd card to get into the podcast. But I will say this: give me your earliest memory of working together, anything related to Dual Shockers. Give us some behind the scenes dirt. Just give us any story of you two working together.
I'd say it was probably something about covering a niche Japanese game, and we didn't have any problem. We both like the same games, so yeah, we have been getting along fine.
Yeah, pretty much. we get along pretty well. Ian's a very, very cool guy, and it's nice actually chatting with someone else about like he said, extremely niche and obscure Japanese RPGs.
Someone that you can say, hey, what do you think about the new Disgaea game? And they don't say, what's Disgaea?
Yeah!
Speaking of people who never get things wrong, Hagane from the Velvet Network, thank you so much for coming back on. How are you doing?
Hello, guys. I think I'm fine. Thank you for having me today. Please bear my English.
Your English will be fantastic. Don't worry. We're talking about a game that's been in Japanese for like 10 months. It'll be fantastic. Also joining me today is another possibly sexual duo. We have Ozzy and Michelle. How are you two doing today? The power couple. I'm sorry.
No.
No.
Don't worry. Michelle's English is not very good either. So we're all working through this together.
I mean,
I'd be mad at you, Adam, if it weren't for the fact I was gonna make the same joke, so it's fine.
I was like, okay. I was waiting for it. I'm like, okay, never mind. I guess it's my turn.
is it like hard? Was it like hard not to like get the really easy, like low hanging fruit, like race joke? Like you could have done with the like, oh, the person named Senorish online also will probably not have very good English.
That's me.
I don't know. I don't know if the introduction is the best time to tell the first story. That
You gotta scare all the 27 people we have watching us live. Also, hi,
Yeah.
all 27 of you. I'm sorry you're here, but thank you for being here. We're here celebrating, talking about Persona 5 Strikers. I'm gonna try and invite in as many people coming in and out of this. So think of this as like, maybe like, I was gonna say like a ever revolving door, but think of it more of like probably like a spittoon. It's gonna get dirtier the longer it goes on, but it's gonna be coming from different sources.
Yeah.
Speaking of our nice friendly spittoon, just a shout out to everybody in chat. We have Let's Happy, who may actually end up getting brought onto the show in a little bit. 714, LaJoker, Jacket, Ian, LaJoker again because I can't read. Woodpecker is here, and Ian one more time just because Ian, if you type again, I'm just gonna keep saying your name. That's how this works. But yeah, everybody, Strikers is here. I've already been peeing my pants over it since like Thursday when the trailer leaked.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. So who's probably talked the least about this? I know Adam and Michelle are not allowed to answer here. I'm gonna be a little biased. Hagane, I feel like you've been very quiet with the whole Strikers thing. How has the whole announcement, now that it's official, like finally hit you?
Man, I skipped the when the trailer leaked. I didn't want to post it because I feel bad about the poor Atlus intern who pulled the trigger. I waited until the official announcement because yeah, I waited for the confirmation of the Spanish subtitles.
Now,
That's why
I have to
didn't
say, I'm
nothing.
at least glad you're one of my few friends who, when they saw I uploaded the trailer, you were one of the few people who didn't say, "Oh, Spencer made a fake trailer. Look what he look what he
No.
uploaded."
No, I knew. The trailer dropped like 3. I was in BC with Larue like 3 here in my time
Mhm.
3 a.m. and the trailer dropped like 4 a.m. my time, and then someone a Persona Center tweeted that the trailer was available. Damn. They leaked the trailer. I waked up in the morning like 8 a.m. and saw the whole thing. The first thing I did was messaging you like, man, the trailer is here, and then you responded me like, yeah, I uploaded it. I was the first one.
I had
Man.
I had to be that guy.
The Scramble guy.
Real quick,
Scramble
very
man.
quick
The
note I need to bring up to you, Spencer. I thought you were joking about this. I know you didn't know beforehand, but if you look in the chat we have right here,
Oh god.
I didn't I didn't realize. So I know you had reposted that clip. I didn't realize Lynn was actually performing at the Game Awards.
Oh, shut up! You
Yeah.
didn't actually know that was true?
No,
That's dude. That's
That's
why I
real.
clipped out that I had actually.
I know. I was like, huh, why'd you bring this up again?
Yeah, oh my god. When
Tempting fate, are we?
when Lynn got announced today, that's when like I literally which is like this was extra fatey because like I had literally clipped out that yesterday but forgot to post it because I was like, oh, this was like one of my highlights of the reaction thing with like Gnarly and you two. And
Yeah.
then out of like nowhere, when I didn't post it, then Jeff Keighley today just comes out of stage and be like, "Hey guys, we got Lynn coming on." Which, like, by the way, in like the same day where like the only other people announced are like Christopher Nolan. What odd company, but I mean, hey, whatever.
I'm happy.
Perfect.
I've also I promised this on my stream today. Whenever I stream Game Awards, because we're gonna do a live reaction to it, I am going to mute everyone who's in the call with me as soon as Lynn walks out.
It's
I'm not letting them talk over her.
it's like the national anthem. Everyone has to respect.
Yep. Yep.
Everyone needs to respect Lynn, which is that's how it should be.
It's important to me.
Anyone else here excited for the Game Awards? Just while we're on the subject of Lynn.
I feel like I'm kind of. I guess I feel like how I usually feel about it. Like, you know, a bit curious. Like, oh, I wonder what I'll win in whatever categories. I'll probably watch like maybe an hour or so of it, and you know, but I guess I never find myself too hyped. But you know, at least like a little bit curiosity, and then hopefully we'll get some good like trailer debuts. I'm assuming that Strikers was supposed to be one of those, and that got ruined. So.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
So
The
that's
thing
like the
was-
weird
was a
thing.
surprise.
That's like the weird
Come
thing.
on.
Has anyone been like, what's... I mean, obviously, yeah, this was for the Game Awards. So cool that they announced it sooner than later on Tuesday. But then, like, once that leak happened, like, why act like the Game Awards should be when their pre-orders go live? Like, obviously, all the retailers haven't held out to that. You can already pre-order on GameStop or you can pre-order on Best Buy in the West. So it's just kind of like, no offense to Strikers, and that's like a game I sip for very hard. This is not a game people are going to be lining up to pre-order. Like, there will be ample copies of this game in February.
Seriously.
Yep.
So I gotta actually ask as we're going by here, because there's so many different things to sort of go by. Really quick though, with trailer stuff, I want to go with you first, Ian, though. Did you see the trailer first today, or were you a naughty person like myself and watched it on Thursday?
I think I'm not sure if I even watched the trailer yet, actually.
No better time than the present to watch it now. It's basically Strikers, but with a English dub, and a lot of people being very confused about why Haru might sound like a little deeper voiced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe they might have changed voice actors because that happens a lot with
Well,
English.
I don't know anything firsthand, but from everything I've been told, the entire cast is there. It's just that she hasn't officially said it or tweeted it yet, and like, I think Haru is one of those characters who, like, if you hear a clip of hers, like, out of context, especially in her Phantom Thieves, voice, like, she might sound a little bit, like, out of character compared to, like, the social life Haru that people are so used to, very high-pitched, like, girly voice.
Yeah, I mean, like, this just kind of sounds like a lot of raw attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, true.
We're not gonna, like, hopefully knock on all the wood in the world. We're not going to have a dancing all night thing with Ashley Birch and Rise. Jesus, please.
Oh yeah, and I feel bad because I know the VA was just starting out, so it's unfair. But like, it does suck because you hear it, and it's like, oh my god, that is not Rise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Same.
So for you though, since I know you've at least seen the trailers, so what did you think when you first saw it finally in English? Like, what was your initial reaction?
I was really excited. Like, obviously the VA work for Persona 5 is phenomenal. Like, all the voice actors are so talented, and actually seeing it in English after like months and months of just like silence from Atlas West, like, you know, that was like a kind of a big thing among us. Like, it was like, hey, when are y'all gonna announce this game? Like, is this happening? Like, can we get it for the West, please? And then actually hearing it in English was really awesome. It was kind of like, you know, you get to kind of hear old friends again, I guess, in a way. So
Yeah, definitely. Like, that's like some of the best part about like coming back to these games, and like, I don't know about how you guys all felt, but like, I definitely didn't get this feeling when Dancing was announced. When 5 Dancing was announced, I didn't get this feeling of like, oh my god, thank God.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like, oh, here the captions are starting already. It was kind of the.
Real quick, I guess we just got to go over the weird thing with this platforms. What is everyone wanting to play this on? So, feel free if anyone wants to jump in there. I'm gonna be basic fanboy number one. I'm probably gonna pick it up on Switch and PlayStation 4, but my first playthrough, as long as nothing like blows up in my life, PS5 from start to finish. I really, really want to see that game from start to finish, running full 4K 60.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
No, yeah, as long as I'm able to steal my friend's PS5, 100%.
You got 2 months though. You better start hustling. Actually, just curious, who here actually does have a PS5 besides myself? I'm trying to think.
Nope. I
don't have one.
didn't even bother.
Am I the only?
Party at Spencer's house.
Okay, everybody, come to Kansas. We're gonna go get to my house. We're gonna make a blanket fort, and we're just gonna we're just gonna do. Oh, the calls of another. The calls of another PlayStation 5 owner. David Cast JRPGs, you're here very early.
What a professional podcast we got going on.
Oh my gosh. Now, even though you are live on the world's hottest microphone ever, David, I am going to have to ask you live on the air to introduce yourself to everyone here, or everyone introduce himself. Now, the bar was already set very low from Adam, and then somehow the bar never even got picked up off the ground from Michelle. So please, third time's the charm. Everyone do better at introducing each other this time.
What's up? David. I like Megaton, and I think I like Scramble. I think.
We'll that's the best we're gonna get all night, everybody.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Would everyone else like to give a quick introduction to who they are, just so I don't have to like have that awkward silence of I'm this person, I'm this person, I'm this person. Oh no! Here we go. There's the awkward silence.
I'm this person. Yeah.
People, it's like class. You just say, "Here's my name," and then I'm done. Here's my name, and then I'm done. Here's my name. I don't know. I don't care what we did this summer. I promise. I'm gonna make this work once. All right. We're gonna go in alphabetical order, and by alphabetical order, I mean the only person here whose name starts with an A. You have to go first.
So my name is Elisa, and I work for Dual Shockers.
Well, you've already
Nice.
told me what you did for summer vacation, Elisa. But thank you so much. I appreciate the gumshoe. So David, there's Elisa and Ian, also from Dual Shockers. Hagane from Velvet Network. Seniorish
Hello?
from Michelle. That doesn't work, but you know what I mean.
That's me.
And Ozzy
Michelle,
from
Seniorish
Adam.
Yeah.
This is the kind of show it's going to be tonight when you're running off of when you're running off of whatever is coursing through my veins right now. So we're going through platforms. I'm the only one going through PS5 because of me having that. David, you jumped in. Is PS5 your lead platform when Strikers comes out?
Oh boy, I'm about to hit you with the weirdest answer. You're not ready. I'm picking up a Switch version and a PS4 version, but I'm gonna play it on Switch and leave the PS4 copy sealed.
I was actually waiting for you to say
Oh.
like Steam, but I appreciate that though.
Hmm.
Nah, that's Steam. I don't play on PC.
Yeah, this is the most PC the entire thing gets. So Ian, how about you though? Where do you think you will be playing Strikers and Scrambling for the first time in February?
Actually, I bought the Japanese version of the game on Switch, and for the English version, I'm thinking of picking the Steam version.
Interesting. So you're the only person. Actually, no. There's a couple other people I know who have played the Switch one. Have you completed a playthrough out of curiosity? Like, what did you think of your time with it? I imported the PS4 version, but I held off on Switch.
I didn't have a lot of time to play it recently. I played up to what I believe is probably the final dungeon, basically, but I still haven't cleared it.
It is now for all the people out there, because I know a lot of people are curious how the Switch one is. Did performance bother you to a point where you think you would dissuade anybody, or were you fine with the trade-off for the portability?
I was definitely fine with the trade-off because I'm not too bothered by technical aspects in games and stuff. I think the main difference in the Switch version is the loadings, which are much longer, maybe like
Yeah.
20 to 30 seconds each loading, but I don't mind it too much. But yeah, it depends on the person. If you don't like loadings, you should. If you don't like loadings and if you don't mind not having portability, you should pick the PS5 version. Yeah.
Alyssa, what about you? Are you going Switch, Steam, or PlayStation?
Most likely, Switch, especially because I really want the Steelbook. I mean, it looks fantastic, and I love Steelbook, so definitely doing that. I mean, I'm thinking about PS4 version as well, but that might be just like kind of later on down the line. I might like do the whole thing of get the Switch for the Steelbook, never open it, and then use the PS4 version.
Yeah.
Now for the two of you, I don't actually know, Ian. How much do you do more editorial, or do you do a lot of like reviews and previews of stuff at Dual Shockers?
I mainly handle gaming news, Japanese gaming news, and I do some reviews from time to time. And
So
editorials.
who is already in the Slack channel called Dibs on Strikers? I have to know.
We're not sure yet. We're going to decide a bit later.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's the appropriate answer. It would I back in like the old days when I used to have to like basically handle getting review codes and handing them out. That was at least the nice part of like when you're going through the trouble of getting them all. It's like you only like dole them out when you like really want to, and then you can like sort of like get them out for it. I do wonder though, like especially because of the release time. I at least think February is actually going to be a pretty good time for this game, assuming nothing too crazy comes out. I feel like
Yeah.
it's just early on enough into this new generation of games, and it actually does like play significantly better, at least on PS5, so that it'll be kind of interesting to see, even without a native version, if it like kind of gets if it actually gets a lot of traction. And one of the things I want to talk about later, and you mentioned this as well with the Switch exclusive Steelbook, is actually I find it so funny how Atlas West is going into this game expecting the Switch to be its lead SKU in the West, which is just so crazy for me, especially just because of like how long it's been out in Japan and how well it has been outsold by the PlayStation version.
Yeah.
It's not selling more here. Not happening. Not on Switch.
Yeah, because the break free persona.
we can't break free without those exclusive steelbooks.
Yeah.
Actually, Spencer, I want to hear your take about that exclusive Switch Steelbook.
Okay, so I actually have a couple of different things, and I come from a weird, like, privileged stance. Obviously, as you guys all know, I am way too big of a fan of steelbooks. The first question I asked my contact at Atlas was this: why is it only on Switch? Like, there has to be a reason. Like, that was it wasn't what led to the game being out so long. It wasn't what's the all-out attack downloadable content pack. My first question was, you clearly must have, like, forgotten something. Why is there not a PS4 Steelbook? And it just goes down to this of, like, what I was mentioning earlier, the bigwigs up at Sega and Atlas West. They seriously think that in the West, the Switch is where Scramble is going to do the best. I don't know if this I don't know if this is just due to internal marketing, what they've really done. Maybe it's part of a Best Buy thing. Obviously, Best Buy is the exclusive retailer for those steelbooks, at least in North America. We have no word yet for how that's going to work in other countries, but I'm just, like, sitting here just sort of thinking, like, especially after today's basically reaction with everybody of, like, hey. Like, I feel like it was very funny when this was announced as being a reaction day. I think everyone initially just kind of shrugged it off as, like, okay, cool, we're going to see the same trailer we saw last week, and then laugh it all off. But I don't know how you guys feel. I was very surprised. My biggest takeaway about today was this, is that I left today having more questions and actually kind of a little more upset than I normally would have been, in the sense of the Steelbooks thing sucks, it's very superficial, and the big one, like we'll get into later, the digital deluxe version being 4 days early left a very yucky taste in my mouth.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. I was like, I could overlook, like, the Steelbook thing, whatever, it's just a Steelbook. But yeah, why do you get to play it early for digital? That was just very weird. I'm
like, who are we? You're not EA. This is like, you're not like the selling the gold version of the game, and, like, also because, and this is also something, like, I think we've all been in, like, the fandom enough to know about. Split releases just suck all of the fun out of it. Like, how much is it going to suck 4 days before whatever, like the 19th or something? So, like, on February 19th, when that digital version unlocks, and then everyone else who's wanting the physical version is just going to have to wait. And it's like, well, this isn't fun for anybody. And also, let's all be honest. We're all Atlas fans here. Who out of us, and this is not meant to, like, for shame, if anyone is, please actually speak up. I'm curious. Like, who here is an Atlas fan and is like, no, I want to go digital only? Like, Atlas fans primarily seem to go, like, physical over everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Never. It's like, I want to go physical, but also I want this game in 4 days.
The weird question I have noticed is, obviously, pre-order talks are still a little bit up in the air. Right now, we only know the digital deluxe edition is for Steam. I can't imagine they're not going to do it on other platforms. It's especially weird to think that this would release on Steam before consoles, even if it was 4 days.
Yeah.
But I really hope they change their mind, just because I've not seen anyone happy about that. And, like, yeah, I've seen some of the reactions from people are like, oh, cool, I'm already going to get a digital, so it's a bonus. But, like, I just think that's a really lazy incentive to, like, make people more excited.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, another one, actually, I am curious what you guys will think. We'll get back to platform stuff in a bit, but please feel free to, like, hop in. What did you guys think of this one? This one surprised a lot of people, even though I kind of called it last week. No collector's edition. This is the first Persona game in a long time with no collector's edition.
Yeah, and I'm
Since
Can they still announce it though?
I mean, but like the game's out in like 2.5 months. Like they're like, I already know, like, the orders have been placed. Like, it's not happening.
It's probably because of COVID.
Yeah, I think that's because of the pandemic as well.
Yeah.
At least you're getting a steelbook. Oh wait, well.
you're getting a third of your platforms are getting a steelbook.
But yeah, I would have definitely jumped at a collector's because I have actually both of them, the original P5 one and the Royal one. So,
Yeah.
but you know, like you
Yeah, I had
said,
both of those.
yeah.
Actually,
But I get it.
interesting question for you guys. Someone brought this up as well. It wasn't in the comments here. I think it was on maybe the Facebook group or Twitter. Think about this as well. If you're a PlayStation fan, like, kind of how much of a slap in the face is this of, like, think about your copy of Persona 5 Vanilla is in this really nice steelbook. Your copy of Royal is in this really nice steelbook. Your copy of Dancing is in this really shitty cardboard sleeve that you call the collector's edition. And then, like, you're just, all you're left with for Scramble / Strikers is, like, a regular PS4 case or a Switch case.
Yeah.
I'm gonna import the Japanese version of the steelbook.
I literally, like, I messaged my friend like, yeah, who was who was working on it. I said, congratulations, the Atlas West team is now like undirectly inflated the price of the Japanese steelbook. That thing is going to go from, like, because, like, right now if you just want that steelbook, it's about $50 to $60, like, just for the case. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it starts creeping up towards, like, the $100 mark.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I mean,
Same.
I guess for me, I never really think about it like it being super consistent. Like as long as I have things to display, I never. But I definitely get it though. Like I know a lot of people that consistency is key. So it's really unfair that like you have these nice collectors, and then suddenly like a PS4, and then suddenly like it's only gonna look for Switch, and that's a very different look.
Mhm.
Like, yeah.
It's yeah, the whole thing is weird, and especially, like, even if you are buying it on all of them, like, even comparing the Japanese steelbook to the Western one we're getting, it's just going to be like there's just such different beasts for sure. I will say though, at least in one positive I do have to say about the North American steelbook, I like that they're continuing the trend they started this year with Royal. If you notice, it's actually meant to be looked at like folded out. So technically, the back of the steelbook is the front this time, and vice versa. There's no like outer box though. I did confirm it's just going to, like, has anyone here like ever picked up a steelbook like as like a separate pre-order bonus? Like, it's not going to be in a fancy case. Like, whether you pick it up, it's just going to be like a loose case. Like, you're basically, when you pick it up at Best Buy in February, it's just going to be you're getting 2 cases for 1 game.
Oh, okay, yeah. I just did that for Yakuza Like a Dragon, so.
Oh my god,
I get you.
what a gorgeous steelbook that red one was though.
I bought the Nocturne steelbook.
Oh man, the Nocturne will be
Nice.
interesting. I think now, especially now that we're in a post Strikers world of no CE for Strikers, I think the people who called me crazy for saying there's no way in hell Nocturne is getting a CE are going to be a little bit smart. Although, you know what's funny? I was just thinking about this. So then let's take this logic for Nocturne, just like take a pick out of it. If you're doing the same thing as Strikers for Nocturne, do you then like double down on Switch and just do a Switch only like collector's like case, or like do you think Nocturne doesn't even get that far and just gets like a couple of stickers and you're lucky to get the game?
Let's go.
Yeah, it's the more popular game.
It's so
Yeah.
Nocturne Collector's Edition. It comes with wash away Demi-Fiend tattoos. That's what I want.
Japan already set the
Big
bar
my
very
idea.
low. Japan was like, okay, you want a baby nightlight? There you go. That's your whole thing.
I love the nightlight.
Hagane, though, for you, what when you play the game in English, well, sorry, not in English, but you know what I mean. When you play Strikers, what will be your first platform you try it in?
If I have the PlayStation 5, I probably play my pre-PS4 copy on the PS5. If I can get one, because they are so loud, like everywhere.
Hagane, I want you to scare everyone
I don't
listening.
I don't want to play. I don't want to play the Switch version because really I'm playing Nocturne. The Nocturne PowerPoint version in the Nintendo Switch, and it's horrible.
If you're complaining about Nocturne performance, yeah, Scramble's not going to do anything much better for you. Now, Hagane, just to scare everyone listening and in the chat right now, let us know if you can do the conversion. How much for you would a PlayStation 5 be, like a disc version?
Let me.
While you look that up, Michelle, I have to ask.
Mhm.
I'm guessing Switch, but I noticed you did say PS5 if you could. Like, let's say.
Well, I don't have a PS5, but
Okay. Well, yeah.
$900.
Oh, sorry. How much?
well, because my thing with it now is it's like, I want a Steelbook, but I also want the game 4 days early. So like, and if I'm gonna get the game 4 days early on digital, then like at that point I might as well just get it on PS5 or on PS4. So like, I'm kind of torn at this point which one I actually want.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm kind of debating it. I don't know. I might still just go Switch. I might find some way to buy both. Who knows? Because if I buy both, then I could keep the Switch one sealed. But I don't know.
The secret dark side answer that I don't actually say is I'm gonna complain that there's a digital version, but I've already started working out the mental gymnastics. I even was telling you in your Twitch chat today. I'm like this. I was like, oh, this game's done. Review codes are gonna be ready in the next 2 or 3 weeks, 100%. Once
Yeah.
January is here, I'm just gonna immediately start hounding for review codes. 100%.
Yeah, I need Adam to use his Atlas influence to get me one. I use 13 Sentinels review influence to get me a copy of Scramble or Strikers. So
they'll give you a copy, but it will be the Japanese version, so you'll have to play it in. It'll be free, but it will be in another language.
God damn it! I waited all this time. I don't even get Max Middleman.
Golden Playhouse asked live, and everyone else can kind of jump on this one just out of everyone's curiosity. He says, do you think that you should play the Switch version of Persona 5 Phantom Strikers? I've always gone about this, and then there's actually a really, really great quote from the director of Scramble / Strikers that was put out on the PlayStation blog today that I think really sums this up perfectly, especially in terms of just Koei Tecmo games in general. So, Daisuke Kanata had this quote to say for announcing Strikers today. I haven't seen this actually posted very much. He says, because P5S is Persona 5's follow-up to the story, for those who are familiar with Persona 5, you'll be able to enjoy this story on a deeper level. That being said, the story revolves around an all-new incident, and I think people will be able to jump into the game without having a grasp of the characters and their relationships, even if it's just through the anime or the manga. And for those who love action games, I think it's perfectly fine to simply try this game out and then follow up the backstory of P5 after. And this quote is what I thought was really, really great. It says, ultimately, my hope is that everyone can experience the world of P5S in whatever way they prefer. And that quote for me, I promise I'm not getting choked up, I'm actually just burping. That quote for me, one of the reasons I love it so much is
very emotional.
When people were like, oh my god, Atlas, you're the best, thank you for bringing this on Steam. This was not, Atlas had nothing to do with this coming onto Steam. This is all Koei Tecmo. Koei Tecmo were the ones, they are the homies. They are the ones helping you out by getting more ports, and...
Yep.
And, I just think they don't get enough love even through all this. Honestly, one of my biggest, surprises with all the, PR stuff I saw, very, very surprised, how little actual talk of Koei Tecmo went into this from, fans today. People being thank you, Atlas, thank you, blah, blah, blah. I think, at the end of the day, we should remember is, guys, Atlas is just the publisher. The guys who, actually developed this game, busted their ass and, did a really, really great job.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cause my thing now is anytime Atlas does a business decision that I actually like, I'm like, okay, what different company made this happen?
So if you wanna do Koei Tecmo good, just either buy Neo on PS5 next year or buy Atelier Ryza 2. Sorry, Atelier Thyza 2. You have to call it by Thyza.
I'm playing Ryza right now. It's good.
Man, yeah, I hear. I mean, at least if you're not trying to get a copy on Switch, it is a very fun game to play, or at least physically on Switch. I heard that game is a nightmare to try and find.
I had the collector editions on Switch.
Let's see, rubbing in, Hagane. So we got to talk about the pre-order bonus. I think everyone is just either dunking on or not even caring. I just got to ask everybody in here, does anyone here actually care or think that the GameStop pre-order pin is a cool pre-order bonus? Because I think that pin, Michelle, I think you described it best in your stream of, I'm going to buy that off someone who doesn't want it on eBay for $5 in 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, yeah, exactly. Because I'm it is a cool pin. I like any Joker merch I will take because I'm me. but also like I'm not buying it at GameStop over Best Buy. Like, fuck that.
Exactly.
Now, if you want to
Like
be a
that
terrible
feels like one of
person,
those Best Buy coins.
if you want to be a terrible person like me, what you should do, well, not should do, what I'll be doing, because I used to work at a GameStop, is then hit up all my old GameStop employee friends who still work there and be like, hey man, you want to hold me a couple of these pens? Because like that's what I did with Royal, because like Royal was perfect because the amount of people who actually went into GameStops to pick it up because of how like right at quarantine that was, I was able to get so many pens to do like giveaways and stuff for it, so that was really really fun.
I wanted.
Oh, also, I gotta just let everybody know, those pins are tiny. Like, hold up your pinky if you are as long as you're not like a child, like, they're about the size of, like, the top third of your pinky. Those pins are not big.
No, yeah, I remember I got my PQ2 pins, which are all really small.
Oh, no, Michelle, they're smaller than the PQ pins.
What?
Yeah, they're very, like, they're like TGIF buttons. They're like shirt buttons. They're, like, you could lose them.
Wow. Nice. Excellent.
Now, actually,
Oh.
I should have asked this one before. Ian, out of curiosity, are you based in North America?
No, I mean France. I live near Paris.
I would have guessed, but I didn't want to be the dumb American who was like, the man sounds like he's in France, but let me just assume it is. So, for you, what do you think would be like the easiest course of action for the pre-order thing, just to give a little bit of a international sense, and then I want to bring it over to Hagane in the same sense. So, like, how do you think you guys are probably going to handle that? At least, because I feel like Deep Silver always at least makes it a little easier to get the day one edition pre-orders, and I feel like you guys don't often get screwed that often in terms of like the retailer bonuses.
Yeah, it really depends of the game. I think something as big as Persona 5, Persona 5 spin-off, especially after the success that was the original game in Royal. I think they'll do a lot of copies, but yeah, usually Japanese games don't have a lot of physical copies and limited edition and stuff, so they're pretty hard to find if you don't pre-order them. And in Europe, and in France and Europe, usually it's Deep Silver or Core Media that's handling
Media,
that's handling the localization and the releases. And yeah, usually it really depends on the game. For Japanese games, they tend to not do a lot of copies for the physical editions and the goodies, product goodies and stuff.
Do you all remember the Amazon exclusive for Royal, the like shiny holographic gold card?
No,
I was trying to think, like, I think that one was actually only in North America, if I'm not mistaken. It was it wasn't super highly advertised, but it was basically like an art card of Joker that would be in your steelbook if you bought Royal from Amazon specifically.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
I was wondering if there was ever like a international equivalent. Like Hagane, I'm trying to remember. Were you able to get that art card, and how do you think Atlas is at least going to handle the pre-order bonuses down there, because obviously you guys don't have Best Buys or GameStops to order from?
No, in South America, I think in Mexico, there are Best Buy and GameStop. But in the rest of Latin America, there is not a large retailer of games. We didn't get the Joker pin, and obviously the Amazon pre-order Joker card bonus. We usually don't get nothing.
Hagane, I'll tell you right now on the record, if you guys do not get a steelbook, I will try and hook you up, and because I already feel guilty, by proxy Ian, I'm gonna loop you in as well, because that'd be very rude if I just left the other international person out.
Thank you very much.
That steelbook is too pretty. You guys, even if you're not playing the Switch version, you at least just gotta have it. Also,
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if anyone here is this dumb like me. You've truly never had a more gamer moment, and you know how much I hate the word gamer. When someone comes to your house and looks at your collection, and is like, "Oh, cool case. Can I try that game?" And you go, "No, I just have the case. I don't have the game." Like, you've truly never looked like a more sad human being, being like,
guys,
dude.
like, look the chat. Best Buy went bankrupt a few days ago in Mexico.
No.
Oh.
They tried doing the advance payment for those steelbooks. Morgana booked them out.
Oh no.
Best Buy Mexico, no. Oh my gosh. Oh, but yeah, like I remember I had that for the longest time with like The Witcher 3. I had like a couple of free Witcher steelbooks, and I eventually just had to like give it away to friends who had the game because I was like, I keep getting asked what I think about The Witcher, and all I have are these steelbooks because they look very nice. Okay, so oh my gosh, pre-order bonus talks aside, man. I guess before we actually gotta move out of this, were you guys happy to see pre-order bonuses be split into across retailers? Are we like, do we think this is a trend? Like, I was really just surprised that Atlas. I feel like Atlas hasn't been this retailer like heavy, especially for such drastic and different things in such a long time. Like with Royal, obviously with it being on one platform, it was a little bit different, but like. I don't know, like, it just something that, for me personally, just feels a little ickier with Strikers, but also I'm in that phase of kind of like with Michelle, of like, just give me the game.
Yeah.
This was their master plan all along. Just starve us long enough that we'll take anything.
But it sucks because like I at least go full SMT4 with it. Like if you're gonna go like retailer exclusive, give me give me Best Buy Nanashi as a costume in Strikers or something like dumb. Like give me retailer costumes. Don't give me like physical stuff. Especially because like the one thing no one's talked about, like the actual pre-order bonus for this I think has gotta be the weakest Atlas pre-order bonus they've ever had. Like, does anyone here off the top of their head know what it is?
All the music and the classic art attacks.
And I think the digital art book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, big asterisk for all of this. You get a video, a art book, and 40 songs. Well, over 40 songs, all digitally, which is like, cool. You might as well have just told us YouTube.com.
Literally, like I'm always been that person where like whenever I pre-order, like I'm thinking about like a collector's edition or whatever, I always look at the price and then like the strength of the physical stuff. Like to me, digital does not factor in the price of a pre-order or anything to me because it's like you said, you could just get it online anyway. It's just whatever, like it's transient. I want like physical stuff that I can hold in my hands that doesn't have like an expiration date that if I don't redeem this by a certain date, it's gone, or if it's tied in elsewhere that it could be gone. Like I don't like that at all.
Guys, I just want to be very unrelated and just say my wife just messaged me this. It's 7:46 p.m. Central Standard Time. All caps. I got a fucking panda in Dynasty Warriors, followed by 900 like crying emojis.
Nice.
That's how you know you gotta. That's how you know you lucked out on that one.
Nice.
It's very very related because we're talking about Strikers, but yeah. So just like and I was hoping that they would learn their lessons with Golden, because like remember when Golden had the digital deluxe version on Steam? It was like pay us $10 more and we'll give you like a really like low like audio quality like couple of songs and some wallpapers. It's like at the very least like Royal's theme as a pre-order bonus worked because it was an exclusive theme. It was like, hey, it's a nice theme, it's got some music, it's fun art. Like this literally does nothing. And also going back to the thing of like Atlas fans enjoy physical things a lot more than digital. Also, I just want to give a quick shout. I don't know how we've like kept 50 people through this dumpster fire for like 40 minutes, so thank you everybody. The other thing I wanted to say, I'm like the only one I know who has a copy of the physical and the digital 13 Sentinels art book. That digital art book, and like I'll give some like I'm hoping that like I can give some feedback that'll help the Strikers digital art book be better. The digital art book quality was terrible in the West. It literally was just a like PNG scan of the art book at that resolution. Like so 13 Sentinels has amazing 4K art. And this art book can barely like zoom in without seeing pixels like I'm zooming in on an iPhone 5C.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
That's why I hate
I don't
digital art books.
I think you don't get more worth less than a digital art book, personally.
No, yeah, it's like, and also, then let's go back to the digital deluxe edition. that's where they're putting the Persona DLC music, which was the Japanese pre-order bonus. That's a great pre-order
Yeah.
bonus. It's DLC, but it's battle themes from Persona 1, Revelations, 2, Eternal Punishment, obviously you know what I mean, 3 Portable, 4 and Golden.
Yeah.
Like you get 8 songs,
Yeah.
you can put them all in your thing. It's like really really fun to like switch out all the songs, and to have that as just day one DLC unless you buy the digital deluxe edition. Like that sucks. Like obviously the soundtrack in Strikers is amazing and godlike, but like that was a great
Yeah.
little pre-order bonus DLC that like now is kept behind a paywall on top of playing the game 4 days early.
Yeah.
Now, actually, Ian, just
Yeah.
because you're the only other person here who's kind of messed around with the other one besides Sakane, have either have either of you two actually messed with the DLC tracks that came with the launch edition of Scramble?
Not much, maybe just to test them out. But yeah, since it was my first playthrough, I'd like to use the original soundtrack of the game, and then when I replay it, using the DLCs.
Mm-hmm. Hagane, what about you?
About the DLC?
Yeah, did you mess around with the Scramble pre-order bonus DLC?
Yeah, I have it since my friend my friend traveled to Japan and bought me the game used, and the code was still available for redeem. And I used it. It's amazing. It's like the best feature in the game. I wish that Royal had the same thing with the DLC costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could randomize the music.
Hagane, yeah, you bring up a
Yeah,
great
that's
point.
very
Like as everyone here remembers, like one of the worst parts of Royal's DLC outside of the fact you had to buy it was like, let's say you wanted to be like dressed up as Catherine costumes, but you wanted to listen to music from like Strange Journey, even though like the Strange Journey tracks are the worst in the game. You had to like stick with costumes to music, and that was the worst part. Scramble does my favorite thing ever. Of when you have downloaded music, you can just say, "Hey, what song do you want to play?" And you can basically turn them like on and off like a playlist. And you can say, "Okay, use these songs," and then shuffle them, or you can do them in this order. And that like is so nice, especially when you're like going through the game either in New Game Plus or just doing like side missions. The other fun one that like I actually keep forgetting to like mention to people is that this game actually has a save data transfer bonus. Now, I always forget how this works with Switch. Does anyone here remember how you get the save bonus on Switch? I'm like half wanting to say you have to play Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I think it was like you have to have Smash. I think that's it, which is really funny.
I mean, yeah, it's
Even
like
if you don't have out the Joker DLC on Smash, as long as you've got a Smash save, it works.
okay. So you
Okay, and
you
I
don't
think
even
I
need
have
so you
that.
don't even have to specifically have Joker on Smash, just Smash save data.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's like actually really funny, especially just because of like how little effort that is. So for a PS4 though, and I have no idea how this works on Steam. I'm assuming they'll just expect you just to rip the code and put it into it because it's Steam. For PlayStation 4, if you play Vanilla and have save data or Royal, each one of those give you a bonus battle track theme that you can bring into the game. So you can then, with the DLC, have 10 downloadable songs to have on top of the other soundtrack in Strikers, which is just really, really nice because all of those battle themes are super, super fun to listen to.
Yeah.
I just
It's okay. You guys can go. Don't be scared of talking over each other.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was
you
gonna
go first.
say. All right, yeah, I was just gonna say because like with the music thing with Royal and how you had to wear the costumes, which also kind of bugged me because because the Phantom Thief outfits kind of have a quote unquote story purpose. I never like changing off them. I found it funny because I've been playing through Q2 recently, and I'm like, how'd this game do it but not Royal? Because Q2 lets you do that. You can turn on and off the different battle themes. There's the DLC battle themes. You can just set them to shuffle, and it's really freaking cool. And you can't do that in Royal.
Of course.
Just another example of the people who do DLC best in Atlas games are games that are not made by Atlas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I
gonna
guess.
ask because I did not buy the DLC for Royal at all. Like I just wasn't doing
You're
it.
a good person. Don't apologize. You're on the right side of history.
I bought some of it.
that's not bad either. But yeah, so I was okay. So I love Strange Journey OST in general, but I'm like when you said that, I started picturing that OST in Persona 5, and I'm just like, that is awful.
Well, remember too.
Yeah.
Remember, it's Deep Strange Journey, so it's like it's Alex's theme on top of Royal, so it's just like.
You know that the worst part, the DLC is not even good because they didn't do a Alex costume.
No, yeah, we have to listen to
Yeah,
Alex, and we can't even like dress up as her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they didn't do Mari. They didn't do what another character.
No Show Minazuki costume. Still, I'm still waiting.
No,
Some of the
Shomi.
costumes
Okay.
were weird because it was like, all right, for Nocturne, Joker's not gonna get Demi Fiend. He's gonna get friggin' Rido.
Dumb tangent
no
question.
Demi Fiend costume.
Michelle, I have to ask. So, as you're mentioning, you don't like playing, and I think Ian also said this for like playing through Scramble the first time without any DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Is it hard to not want to use DLC costumes in the third act of Royal just because you know that's your only chance to dress up Kasumi?
Yeah, I mean, because like my typical rule was I was like, if I'm in a palace, I'm fit. If I'm in Mementos, I might just because there's not much plot happening most of the time. But like I don't know, I also didn't buy Kasumi's outfit pack. To be fair,
no one should.
No, it's not worth it. Like I bought the personas because Raul, and I bought the battles because protagonists, and that was kind of it. And then I downloaded Let's Go Featherman.
By the way, no one ever be sorry that they didn't buy the DLC. I want everyone listening to know this, that when Royal came out, I was refreshing the store on release day so I could be the first one to buy the $60 pack. And I have a picture up on, like, what is it, March 31st, 2020, of I was the first person to buy all of the DLC and immediately gave it a 1-star review, and I just tweeted out saying, "Don't be like me. I bought this to show you all so no one else has to do, no one else should suffer this, like, $60 price tag."
Yeah.
I'm not even smart enough to make that tax deductible. I ate that cost. I looked at my wife and I said, "No, not today, honey. We have to look at Persona Q models in HD."
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's
the best part. That's the best part.
It was at least one of the few shining moments there. I don't even know how we got on the topic. Oh, it's because we were talking about like digital pre-order bonus. Yes. Moral of the story: no one here likes it. Please change your mind, Atlas. Even though we know you won't.
Nope.
Other thing that I wanted to talk about with Strikers is kind of a weird one. I'm trying to think of like how to like phrase this correctly. So we talked about like we're all pretty much in agreement. I think the release timing is pretty good. For everyone else here, just because I've been yapping about this for like every week, pretty much since it was announced. When did you guys all think this game was coming out? Like, when was everyone's like kind of like headcanon of like, oh, Scramble has to come out like blink. So like, let's just say you're transported back to February. Let's just at least say post-Royal. So it's like, it's April. You are aware that the quarantine is happening, but you know Scramble is being worked on in some form, and it will be Strikers. Like, when did you all realistically think this game is coming out? Because for me, I kept telling everybody, June, July. Like, this game has to come out June, July.
Has to be June, July, right? Like, that'd be a thing that likes to do, right? Like...
They were supposed to announce this at New Game Plus Expo, so June, July, please.
Yeah.
But we got
September for release date. They usually took their sweet 6 months for the release in US.
Man.
Yeah, I was expecting the game to release before the end of 2020 was okay. At least. I'm surprised they waited too long.
Yeah, like, and it wasn't even like I never cared about the release date. The announcement was what I cared about. Just because the sooner they announced it, the better. Alyssa, what about you though? When were you thinking? Because like I remember even having you on the podcast in April, and even then we were like, what are they thinking? I think she died. She may have died. We'll find out. The Atlas goons got her.
Damn it.
She's being taken over to talk about how great their DLC plans are for Scramble. While we're waiting,
Probably like the art book.
I love those art books. Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yay! You're back.
Oh, what happened? That was weird. But
That's
yeah, so yeah, they did. They were trying to get me to buy the DLC. But yeah, so I was thinking like around August, I was thinking, okay, like the latest would be August because the summer release does make sense for this game,
Yeah.
like it shouldn't be waiting. Or like Ian said, even if we didn't get in the summer, I was thinking, okay, it would definitely be like sometime this year, even if it's like during like fall or something, that'd be fine too. And then yeah, just no news whatsoever. That's what kind of floored me. Not even so much how that this game is even coming out next year, which is crazy enough, but just that it took so long to even get an announcement trailer. Like that made no at all. Like why this long just for the trailer alone? Like the trailer was not going to cost Atlas anything to just put up.
I think that Persona 5 has history with the Game Awards because they won the Game Awards of the Best RPG in 2017, and then Joker was revealed in 2018, and nothing for 2019.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I get what you mean, but like I'm trying to go back to my chat logs because like I said, one of the first things I asked my friends when it was finally announced was, congratulations, your worst kept secret can now be talked about. But it was just like I asked and it was like, so seriously, like what do you think like led it to be taking so long? And they were pretty much like, listen, everyone at Atlas was just as frustrated. Like, from the localization side, everyone at Atlas was just as frustrated as us. And I totally get that. And, like, going back to, like, the Switch thing of them, like the bigwigs thinking it's, like, going to do better on Switch or, like, blah, 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 or, like, the digital version. Like, most times, like, 9 out of 10 times, when Atlas is doing a decision you think is stupid, it's probably the corporate, like, people in charge, and that's the reason why. Yeah. It just, like, extra sucks because it was, like, I even like commented, like I sent a message out to Ari and Zach, the PR leads for this. My first thing I sent them was just like, hey, can you guys like just give a statement? Like just like I was hoping they could have something today, but like obviously like they're like going like probably like running around their heads cut off. But like I just like I'm dying for an official statement as to what the hell happened. Like there's a story behind like why they waited this long. Like no person in the industry was like, yes, waiting till December was the best time to announce this game.
Let's do it. Yeah, because like I brought this up on Twitter a few months back, where I basically said like it's especially frustrating because the day Royal got announced for Japan, even if it wasn't much, Atlas West Twitter did say Persona 5 Royal coming 2020 to the West and Asia.
No, I think that they made it after the Persona Super Live, and they revealed the name of the game, Persona 5 The Royal, and then Atlus West tweeted that Persona 5 Royal is coming to the West, and that's it.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't much, but it was at least more than this.
By the same day.
And then 500, and then 580 plus days passed, and now here we are.
Yeah.
Golden Play asks an interesting question. I'm curious what you guys all think. What do you think would have been better, for Atlas to release Strikers first or Royal?
I don't know.
I have an interesting question of I think Royal first, but I don't think Royal should have taken 3 years to come out.
Yeah.
Or this goes back to my initial review of Royal of I think if you were going to take so long for Royal to come out, Royal should have been a PS5 game. I think it either wait for a whole new platform or release that game a whole lot sooner. But Strikers / Scramble, like I feel like that's kind of an evergreen game just because of how much of a sequel it is. But like, what about you guys?
I wasn't really expecting Royal, the announced version of Persona 5 to release on PS5 because the game was originally on PS3, so I wouldn't expect them to be able to upgrade it that much, if that makes sense. But In the first place, I'm not very on board with Atlas' way of re-releasing games with a little bit of additional stuff and new character.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I guess another interesting thing to be curious to ask for you guys. Did anyone here finish off Royal more excited for Strikers, or was your hype level pretty much the same because of how different the gameplay is?
I would say I was pretty much the same personally. Like, I mean, when I just really wanted to play the game because it was a sequel. I'm a big fan of Muso games, a lot of fun, and it just looked like a really good game. Like Koei Tecmo did such a great job with it, like really integrating all these gameplay mechanics from the actual like P5 and everything. And I'm just it was my hype levels were just exactly the same. Like Royal had nothing to do with it at all. That was like for me at least very very different.
Hmm.
I agree with that, and it's crazy to say this and like to think about it that the initial reaction and reception to the reveal was so bad, and look at where we are now. Like everyone was crying because we're not getting the game, and at first everyone was like, "Oh, this looks like trash."
I mean,
Yeah.
it's so funny. You look at that first announcement trailer. It looked like they showed so little gameplay. Whatever they showed just looked like you're doing your normal button masher Dynasty Warrior type.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, that's the thing.
fast forward to the game showing more actual gameplay, showing the platforming, showing the team switching mechanics, showing the social elements.
Yeah.
Like the game just gets better the more you show it. And it was just funny of like, even though the game had been in development for over 2+ years or its first trailer, I almost think for them, at least in Japan, they would have been better holding off till that November trailer they did in 2019, where they showed off that gameplay. Because I remember that one was the first one where people were like, "Whoa, okay, let's take this game a lot more seriously." Like me,
Yeah.
I'm a dumb Koei Tecmo simp. I'll buy anything as long as it's not Dynasty Warriors 9. So like, I was gonna give them the benefit of the doubt anyway.
Yeah. Basically, because I handle Japanese news on Joystickers, I was covering the Japanese promotion of the game. And the more I learned about it, the more I was excited because initially I thought it was just like a Muso game, Hero Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors, etc. So I wasn't really excited. And when they started explaining it's a real sequel, they started explaining it's more like an action RPG with some real action RPG mechanics instead of just picking the Muso formula. I was really excited for the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the main reason why everyone wasn't excited at first. They were like, "Okay, it's just Fire Emblem Warriors with a Persona skin, for example."
Yeah.
Now, actually, one of the big things we have to talk about, and I'd already been dissuading people in chat, but I'd love to get your guys' opinion. Does anyone here see a English demo happening before release?
I want it to. Will it? No, probably not.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
Well, do y'all think it was planned for the Game Awards?
I've basically from everyone except Jeff Keighley had it basically confirmed that it was supposed to be Lynn performing either pre or after the reveal trailer. Like nothing. Like the plan was never to be Tuesday. It was always to be the Game
You are
Awards.
stronger.
Okay, well then, what if
That's beautiful.
they still show the trailer at the Game Awards, but they shadow drop the demo during the show?
But again, and this is very cynical. Everyone prepare to say that I'm a mean, bad person, but boy, I wish I wasn't wrong. That makes too much sense, and Atlas has not been showing in recent history that they make business sense, like decision sense. It's like
I
We
mean,
say
you're
the
not
same
wrong.
in July.
Catherine Full Body on
Exact
Switch,
thing.
only Japanese demo. 13 Sentinels, only a Japanese demo. Like just the Western office, like
Yeah.
and I think
that was such a mistake.
It just goes to more of the thing of like it's not that they suck because they won't do a demo. It's that they're bad at not communicating why there's no demo. If they just said, guys, we're like pushing ourselves, barely getting these games out, we can't get the demos out, that's why, I would understand it. But like if they have the resources behind the scenes to make a Yakuza 7 demo for Xbox like preview members in the press, but they can't like put that up for like the public. When Japan had that demo publicly available, it's like, okay, well, clearly like there's some room for this. So I don't know, what is it like everyone's kind of stand still with like either the English demo happening, because I think all of us would agree, like, has everyone here gotten their hands on the demo in some way, shape, or form?
Yep.
I played the demo just a little bit before the Japanese release, but I practically didn't play it because I know I was getting the game in Japanese anyway, and I didn't want to do the beginning of the game twice.
Ian, you are a braver man than me. I think I played that demo. I think I played that like 10 times before. Like, that was even before my import copy. I got my copy on launch day for Japan in America, and I still played that demo like religiously. That was like my people coming over, like, look at this game. look, it's Persona Dynasty Warriors, but it's actually really fun. Alyssa, what about you? Did you ever get to put much time into the demo, if at all?
She's muted.
She died again. It's okay. She's thinking. She's thinking very hard. Well, oh no, she put BRB. I can't read everybody. Don't mind me. But no, like, talking into it, I would at least say this. I think this is time for people like us in the community, or just fans of this game, whether you're a fan of like action games or excited for Strikers, guys. It takes like 2 minutes to make a eShop account. It's a little bit harder for like Japanese like PSN, but like just play this demo if you can. Like, play it. It's free.
Yeah.
It's a beefy demo.
Yeah.
It's really fun. Like, if you're going away from this trailer being like, I'm still not sold, or I can't wait to get my hands on it, that demo is really, really fun. You can play it on your PS4. Hilariously, you actually can't play the demo on your PS5, but that's just because the PS5 is really weird, and they were like, no demos for backwards compatibility. So it's like, okay, whatever. Okay.
In fact, you can change your country in your eShop account.
Well, oh yeah, that is also true. Also, I feel like another reason like PSN's probably also weird, just because like the weird things they're doing for like unifying everything. But we were talking about the demo while you were gone. I was bad and didn't look at the chat, Alyssa. Had you played much of the other Switch or PS4 demo back in February?
I played the Switch demo, and then the PS4 demo for the Golden Day footage. Because I had, in that time I didn't have a game capture, the Elgato thing. I don't know what's the name.
Oh, like Elgato?
But yeah, I played that version. Yeah, the Elgato. I don't know. Game capture, I think. Game.
Otherwise, it is very, very laborious doing 30-second clips, taking it on and off of your Switch. Had you gotten any time to play the demos at all since they've been out, or have you just been waiting for the full game?
Fun, yeah, I've been pretty much waiting for the full game, mainly because like I got kind of bogged down, reviewing and just playing a bunch of other stuff, and I was like, it's a Muso game. I know I'm gonna love it. I might as well just wait for the full game.
You're more patient than the rest of us. No, I can't imagine doing that. I'm trying to think. By the way, if anyone in chat has questions, please feel free to either like tag me and I can ask everybody else, or if you guys does anyone have any like kind of discussion points or things they want to like vent about, whether it be positive or negative for Strikers. Please don't make it seem like just because I am the very sick host that I have to lead all the conversations.
I have a semi-related question while
Yeah,
you're
what's up?
preparing for something more related. Since it's confirmed February for Strikers, when do you guys think we'll get Nocturne? Because I had March in mind, but I'm not too sure now.
I'd say no way March anymore, at least for Nocturne. I feel like that's way too close now.
Yeah, so maybe like April or May, possibly. I'm just throwing some, like, those would make sense to me at least, because I don't know if they put it out all the way in the summer. I feel like that'd be too late.
David, we've been asking, like, because I feel like we've been talking about this since the trailer leaked last week. We need to talk about this. Not when does Strikers push back Nocturne. When do we... Well, again, sorry. When do we actually want to play Nocturne Remastered? Because, like, right now, I'm in this weird position of, like, until that game's patched, I'm like, just hold it. Like, I'm in no hurry
Yeah.
to play Nocturne until the Japanese version is patched.
Yeah, true.
Man.
Yeah, but it shouldn't take too long
Yeah.
if they really do decide to do something about it, because to
They
be
are
honest,
looking into it.
We're
yeah, but
we're
that
investing.
could be
Looking into it.
anything.
What no other company than Atlas can be like, we're investigating maybe improving the 20-year-old game we sold you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
Yeah,
why I
it-
bought the Makai box like super cheap. The
Ian,
Switch
just
version.
because you seem to kind of be like me and having your nose to the ground in terms of like the Japanese like media with stuff, have you been sort of surprised how vocal the Japanese release has been for Nocturne? I remember kind of being like, even if it was like really broken, I didn't really think it would get enough traction to get Atlas to like make a statement for it. Like, I was fully expecting them to just kind of be like, whatever, we made our money and move on for it. But like with Nocturne, like
Yep.
when you saw them like officially be like, hey, no, we are investigating this, were you surprised?
I think
yeah.
no, because it's a remaster, so they know the game has a big fan base already, so they know people wanted to know as soon as possible. That's why.
Mm.
See, I guess this also is one of those things, like, I always think it's so messy just because even, like, I don't know if how much anyone here has been following the Asian release of Nocturne Remastered, of, like, so now they're adding Raito back in. So the Chinese and, like, I think Korean version of Nocturne Remastered don't have Raito, it's just the original version of the game. So there's, Dante is paid DLC, but there's no Raito in the base game. So they're adding him back in, but it is still going to be paid DLC. So it's just like, man, like, this, the game can just, like, not catch a break.
No.
Thanks.
Not at all.
Which, like, makes
Yeah.
me, like, honestly really excited for, like, whenever they finally talk about it again in the West. Because, like, I don't, like, imagine if, like, anyone here was interviewing Atlas West and they come up to you and, like, are you excited about Nocturne? Like, how is our first question as fans not going to be, cool, is it fixed? Like, are you going to sell me
Yeah.
a broken game? Because, like, obviously, Japanese reviews are a lot more kind of, like, skewed and, like, hard to be a little bit more, like, critical. But, like,
Yeah.
for you guys, like, imagine, like, if the Western press was reviewing Nocturne Remastered as it is now, like I can't see a way, like, how it just does not get absolutely destroyed.
It would get destroyed. I mean, they look at Fire Emblem that they just released. They're considering that it's an old RPG for their review. They're not considering, sorry, that it's an old RPG. They're like, oh, it's not Three Houses. Well, duh, it's a straight port. So with Nocturne, they do the same thing. They're like, it's an old RPG, plus
It's
it
not
doesn't
Persona
work.
5.
So yeah, it's not Persona 5. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it would be terrible.
But yeah, I've seen on Twitter, on Japanese Twitter, I've seen a lot of Japanese players complaining and saying that, for example, the loadings are actually longer than in the original version and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it was just funny of, like, even other things of, like, what, not even, like, loads to, like, different transitions, like, just pressing menu, having that load be longer.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that adding up and, like, really, really, like, being annoying. Like, that's why one of the...
Some menu lag.
Yeah, like, one of the big things you had mentioned earlier was Strikers and Scramble. Like, it runs fine on Switch, but one of the things people don't realize is normally in most Warriors games, there's one big load screen. But with Scramble, it's kind of like segregated, like Monster Hunter. So there's lots of mini areas you go to, so there's a lot more loading.
Yeah, exactly. Each dungeon is like multiple smaller areas. So,
Oh my gosh. By the way, anybody talking about this, I'm in this weird thing of, like, I'm still very excited for this. I'm excited to cover this. When do we think is the next time we actually hear about this? We have, like, 2 months until the game is pretty much out. Obviously, like I said, reviews are probably going to start coming out to press within a month and a half or so. But obviously, I wouldn't expect reviews to go up any earlier than, like, beginning of February. So, like, do they do another media blast? Do they just kind of shut up and start putting out trailers, like, slowly? Like, how vocal do we expect / want Atlas West to be now that Scramble is finally revealed as Strikers?
I got up
Probably
two
same.
things with that. One, do we think they'll do the character-specific trailers like they did for... And two, Do we think that before the game is unveiled in English, they will actually like reveal Zenkichi as a party member because he's not on the website right now.
Him on
the
the
website doesn't
him on
say
the
it.
website is the dumbest. It's like it's him on the website. Here's all the Phantom Thief members and Dad. It's like cool. Thanks for putting the chaperone on the website.
No, yeah, 'cause it's really funny because like it doesn't have his spam thief outfit, it doesn't have his persona, it doesn't even have his fighting style or his code name. It's just pretending that he's not a party member. So
If you guys remember, do you remember how in Japan they actually, I think it was like, Ian, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it like a month before the release of the actual game, like in January or something, they actually re-revealed the cover because Zenkichi
Yeah,
was hidden
I
on the
love that.
cover for the longest time, and I mean he's in the opening movie. It's like no one looks at him like Zenkichi or Wolf separately and go like, oh, like who is this masked man? Although I will say, I saw something recently that made me actually burst into tears because of how like out of the loop this person was. This was someone just commenting on my re-upload of the reveal trailer. Someone saw Zenkichi in the clip of the announcement trailer and timestamped it of like the shot of him in the car, and he says, "I don't know about you guys, I feel like this is Shido in a wig." I'm like, just imagine if that is Zenkichi. It is just Shido in a wig.
I would love that. That sounds like the greatest video game ever made.
Exactly. That's
Also, what the other thing I find funny about Zenkichi is the fact he's still on the English box art. He's unveiled and on that. They just haven't, because I still remember, like, I was with Adam whenever we saw the reveal of Zenkichi as a party member, because it was the stream where they revealed, I think it was like an Atlas stream where like they revealed, like they were revealing the opening. You watch the opening and then you suddenly see that he's in the Phantom Thieves attire, and then after that it led straight into his character trailer, I believe.
Now,
I think that was the case.
oh yeah, I just always have to tell people this just because I feel like there's not enough ways for me to hype up Zenkichi / Wolf.
Yeah.
Just putting this out there, not spoilers at all. This is just the truth. Wolf has, if not one of the best Persona Awakenings in the entire series. It's like it just completely steals the show. It's like it is too good to be true.
Yeah. Cause I don't know, I'm excited. I like my game dads. Sojo is one of my favorite P5. Sojo is one of my favorite P5 characters. Dojima is my favorite P4 social link. So
I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't know what this says about like how I feel about the other dads. I feel like it's like no question, like he's like the best like Persona dad. Like obviously it's got like there's a lot of like stiff competition for there, but just because of how much of an active participant he is in the story, I just super dig it. And like I remember I was live streaming the game and someone in chat was like, "It's Batman with Dante's sword." I'm like, you're not wrong. Like the way I've always described it, like my ghetto description of Wolf is like, imagine if someone took a Bloodborne character and put him in a BDSM rally. That's what Wolf looks like to me.
yes.
But I think of it this way too. Like, imagine how much power Dojima or Socio would have if they were also party members. Like they would just be perfect.
That's awesome.
And so you had to be nerfed. That was why
I still think about that alternate universe where Dojima was a playable character in Arena.
I wish.
So we gotta just be like stupid fanboy time here. It's fanboy / fangirl. I just gotta ask this question for everyone. Who are you all most excited to play as?
I'm torn in a lot because, like, I mean, my favorite Persona character, but purely in terms of gameplay, I think probably Yusuke appeals to me the most just from seeing him play. So that's
He's like Virgil.
He is Virgil.
Right.
Yeah.
He is basically
Yeah.
Virgil.
That's what I've heard.
I
never
haven't
played
played
DMC,
Devil
but
May
I've
Cry
heard.
in my life, but I saw the clip of Virgil and said,
Hagani, what do you mean? You just told us you've been playing Nocturne. You're playing one of the best Devil May Cry games of all time.
Yeah.
No, I prefer Idol. Sorry.
How about you guys
Oh.
though? Who's currently like who are you like itching to
I'm a
have
David Summoner
at the
man.
top of your roster and strikers?
Probably for me, I would say between Yusuke and An. So, cause like
Let's
two of
go.
my they're like two of my favorites anyway in the games, and
Yeah.
like you said, like Yusuke is basically Virgil, which is awesome. And I don't know why, but I like whip characters a lot. Like they're so much fun. They tend to have very fun like gameplay, like very interesting kind of combos, and like their animation and all that. So like An was very appealing to me in that regard too. So yep, those are
I
my
did
top.
choose the Kane and Bloodborne, so On might be the go.
See, that's the best part about strikers is you don't have to pick one. You can always have 4 people at any time and just switch on and off.
True. Yes.
I'm full on. I mean, there's also the boring answer, but that I do want to play as Joker because I mean multiple personas, but also I just think Joker is cool. So,
He is.
Great news! You are never allowed to unequip him. You will always have to have him in your party. So I hope you enjoy
Yes.
him. Ian, what about you?
That was
What
what's
about
funny
you
about, like,
when you were
Team
playing?
2
What did you
for me.
who did you kind of gravitate towards if you had like a favorite on your team?
You asked.
Oh, I think he kind of cut out. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
You asked me what's my favorite?
Oh yeah, like out of the Phantom Thieves to play as in Scramble, like who did you really gravitate towards?
I tend to like everyone. Basically, personality-wise, in Persona 5, I love everyone. And in Scramble, everyone's gameplay is pretty interesting too. And I'm not sure if I should say this or not because I know some people don't like what people call gameplay spoilers. But,
Gameplay spoilers. Haru, very heavy, very fun.
If you don't want, if you
Haru
want
is
to go,
heavy.
if you want to go into the game completely without knowing anything, don't listen to the next 20 seconds or so. So basically, Scramble, the way it works is that you start the game with all the Phantom Thieves, so you can pick whoever you want. But at the same time, this makes things pretty hard because you need to learn all the characters to be able to conquer the game. So basically, even if you have some favorites, you'll be forced under brackets to use everyone. And that's personally I don't mind because I like everyone. But if you have some favorites, maybe you won't be able to use them all the time.
Yeah, it's interesting actually because because one of the nice things about the game, and if you've only played the demo, you don't get to experience what it's like playing as other characters besides Joker. As soon as you finish the demo in the main game, the entire Phantom Thieves roster besides Wolf is unlocked, and you can just switch on the fly at any point. And then you just kind of have everything opened up to you, and it's like, oh god, like I want to play everyone. Like there's like no one character who's bad in the game. Like everyone's moveset's very unique and very diverse. And it's just like there's like never a moment of like, even when I went back and was playing it recently, I was like, oh my god, like I forgot how fun it is like driving around Johanna or like being like even just being like Morgana and like checking out like the fun animations. And again, going back to like Yusuke, yes, Yusuke is Virgil. Yusuke is also Virgil with an assault rifle, so like a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
And also crippling student debt. Like Virgil has a lot of emo angst, but you can't mimic crippling student debt quite like Yusuke does.
Perfect. I'm so glad Persona 5 is continuing its social commentaries.
I mean, and that's like one of the, like my favorite parts about like why telling people like I'm so excited to see the English story, because like this game thankfully doesn't have to be as shackled to the story of vanilla P5 or even Royal, in the sense of you're not having to introduce yourself to new people all the time. Like yes, you're introducing yourselves to like certain main characters or villains, but like the main cast is primarily the same from beginning to end, and so you just get to keep like growing those relationships, and it is so much better for like the storytelling. Like it just gets to like have so much more fun than Persona 5 ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing I'd like to add is like one thing the game does really well is, like you said, the relationship between the characters, because in this type of sequels usually what the game tends to do in the sequels is basically making the characters go through the same developments they went before in the previous game, because they are scared of changing the characters too much in a sequel between the characters and the views the fans have of the character basically. And I think Scramble didn't do that, and they weren't afraid of trying out new things with the characters basically, to not say too much, to not spoil.
Also, Juliar in chat brings up a great point. Haru actually gets to do something for once in the game.
Yeah.
That's true.
we don't just push her into the final chapter of the game and be like, all right, let's pretend you existed before this now.
She has a lot of screen time compared to the original. Yeah.
That's really good to
I'm
hear.
back.
I just need to hear hee ho in English.
You know what? I'm a little sad that they're not dubbing the demons. So it's like, obviously it'll be fun hearing everyone, like all the Phantom Thieves, say hee ho in English. But I was like, I always like enjoy a little bit, like kind of in that cringe compilation way of when you hear like the dubbed versions of demons. But like it's such an extra expense. Like I understand why not to do it.
But they were I mean, the demons were dubbed before, right?
Yeah, they were dubbed in 5 and Royal, but at least through the trailer, everything we've seen, all the stuff, like specifically the hee ho section, that is ripped right out of the Japanese dialogue. Hagane, since you're back, we were talking about like favorite characters or like ones you gravitated towards. Who would be like the one you like are gonna go to first when Strikers finally comes out, like to really like start mastering?
I was playing with Makoto, obviously Joker. Sadly, I played with Haru, and Yusuke, and Antu. I played with those. Morgan is funny because the Mona Bus. That's all I think. Sophie is cool too.
So Sophie's one of those characters that's like not exciting to play as first, and you definitely have a lot less nostalgia for her moveset since you just met her. I will say Sophie definitely gets a lot more powerful after like the later half of the game, but thankfully leveling up characters is still pretty fast, and also Sophie's just like super kind of like fun and quirky. So again, since the game has such a small roster, they did a really good job of fleshing out everyone's movesets, which was really, really nice. I have like a weird kind of unrelated question just because I was thinking about, so like Michelle, I know you have like an almost unhealthy love, like almost to a fault, of Persona 5. Like you've said multiple times, like it is your favorite game of all time, like very, very few faults. Is it weird going into a game like Strikers that is just the sequel to what you think is like the best game of all time?
It's definitely kind of weird seeing that. Yeah, this isn't like the same story, but now with a redhead. It's like a full sequel to what has been my obsession for however many years. And I'm really excited about it. Anyone who saw my reaction heard me have a fucking heart attack. But I don't know. It's definitely I'm very optimistic for this game, just in terms of both gameplay as well as story. I want to see this game's story a lot because I'm just curious and I like Persona.
Actually, just because I've not really had everyone else here on it, I was talking to you a little bit before the show started, Ian. You're like coming off of like Royal and Vanilla, like P5. Where does that game kind of like where does that game sort of land for you in terms of like how you like hold it, like whether it be compared to other games in the series or just games from 2020?
Scramble is definitely one of my favorite games of the year. And I'm pretty sure I like it more than Royal as well because I have a very difficult relationship with Royal because I did not even finish the game yet. And I bought it in Japanese as well, and I'm like at the fourth badass, I think. And I haven't played it in months because of lack of time. And Yeah, I just wish Atlas would like maybe I've made something like making Kazumi playable earlier or something, for example.
Not having to wait
Uh,
2/3 into the game.
yeah, for example. So yeah, I definitely. Meanwhile, Scramble is definitely a great game, and yeah, I wasn't disappointed. It's a really good show, and I'm really happy with what they did. Yeah,
That's good.
I feel like a kindred spirit with you just because I've been very much the vocal minority of people, like the 13 English speaking people, or even just Western fans who've actually played Scramble completion. And I've been telling people, even after Royal came out, I'm like, I'm not kidding you. Scramble slash Strikers, I think, is a 100% better game than Royal. And that's without me
Oh
playing
yeah.
through it in like my own native tongue. So like that's a pretty
Mhm.
high bar, and it was just one of those like funny things of just so that people like, nah, it's a spin-off, it doesn't count. It's like I'm very excited for people to be surprised. Do I expect it to review higher? Hell no. People are going to go into this game like with probably like the most like how Persona 5 Royal got like a review bump. Like you remember how we were talking about this back in like April of like people
Yeah.
like talking like, oh yeah, it's like it's the best game of all time but better. With like Strikers, people are going to be going into that of being like, okay, it's an action spin-off to the best game of last year. Now let's like docket points for all the stuff it doesn't do exactly right.
Yeah, exactly. It's
yeah,
like, yeah, I feel like people
Yeah.
are going to be way more critical of this game than they were of Royal, which is totally unfair, but you know.
Yeah.
I'm just excited for like I think general Atlas fans are going to love it. I think it's obviously going to be less of a critical darling, but like really when has this series ever needed like critical praise, I guess besides Persona 5. Um
Mhm.
Funny thing though, I actually just cuz I am curious, and we're in December for so long. Would anyone here actually consider Persona 5 Royal to be their RPG of the year?
Yep.
uh,
No.
not me.
Nah, no, because for me, I also have other ones too. Like, wait, Dragon Quest 11, like the Switch one, that came out this year too, right?
Not the Switch one, the Switch version on Xbox, PC, and PS4 came out this year. So you could count
Okay.
you could count it this year.
Oh, okay, because I'm just like, this year is so weird. So like, time has not functioned right. So I'm trying to remember, but I know definitely Final Fantasy remake, 7 remake is up there as well, and I know there's a couple other ones too. I gotta play Sentinels. I heard that one is phenomenal. So, uh,
I have loved like now that like we're in Game of the Year season, like some outlets have been like slowly checking out 13 Sentinels after all the positive press and stuff. I've been like absolutely eating up all the people like from the like big game sites like checking out the game and immediately just going back to what I heard like when it came out in September of like, man, it looks gorgeous. Way too anime for me though. I'm like, what are you
oh
like
man,
what are you expecting when
Nah.
the game looks like this, dude?
I know.
It's like I
I'm
can't remember. Oh no, I think it was like Imran Khan was talking about the game today on Kind of Funny Games Daily, and he was like, I'm just waiting for like the story to explain why they're naked. Like there needs to be a good reason. Like does there have to be a good reason why they're naked in the robots? Like I don't think there would ever be a good reason in that game's like lore that people would just universally agree upon and be like, yep, this was worth it. That's why they're naked.
Exactly.
Yep.
Oh, well, I'm glad more people are playing 13 Sentinels. One of like the most like
Yeah,
like tragic but happy things for that game with me is I did a video back in I think like October or September saying like how terribly it sold, and like, every day I get comments from
yeah.
people saying like, "Oh my god, I love this game. I can't believe it sold so terribly." And like that always makes me like happy of like I know that game will probably never like do well in the West, but like it slowly but
Yeah,
surely definitely does have that word of mouth appeal, just not the same way it had in Japan.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Searches Sentinels together with Scramble are definitely among my best games this year. Yeah, and I actually basically I buy most of my games, and I started studying Sentinels in the Japanese version, but I completed it in the English version basically.
I have to like was it weird going from the Japanese one and then finally playing in English, or was it just kind of like oh like pick pretty much right back up?
Alright, so it was pretty fine because basically I wanted to complete it in 2019 with the Japanese version, but just a lot of stuff happened and I never got the time to play it, so the version was the occasion to get back to it, basically.
Were you playing in English or were you playing the French subtitle version?
I played it in English because I'm supposed to review the game for Joshua as well, and I wanted to make sure I checked the English translation. So
I,
I play most of my games with English subtitles.
I always love like asking people because like now that Atlas has been doing and even Strikers is supporting EFIG, support English, French, Italian, German, Spanish. It is just one of those things of like every time they do it, it's always like awesome. I'm glad you're supporting more languages, but every time I beat the games, I look at the credits and I'm like, yep, it's 2 people. Like you're putting like 13 people to work on the English version, and like 2 people get to be on each other language.
I know.
Mhm.
Bless those like 2 people because they are doing the Lord's work.
Bless whoever's having to press copy and paste into Google Translate for some of those translation speeds, I must
Exactly.
assume.
I mean,
Next.
listen, if I had one other person, I'm taking shortcuts.
El semi-oscuro.
Like, didn't like one of the things of like for the Strikers trailer, like Yusuke was talking about like getting curry for like he was like hungry, so he's like, oh, let's get curry instead. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
You guys, I have to say, your endurance was much longer than I ever would have thought. You guys have lasted a very long time. So all of you, thank you so much for sticking out through this. I don't know how much longer you all are able to still wanting to talk about Strikers or whatever, but I just want to just thank all 4 of you. And Ozzy had to dip out, and David also had to dip out a little bit early, but thank you guys for coming on. And if you're watching this live, also thank you. I don't know how much longer you all still want to hang on here, but I just wanted to take a second and say thank you guys.
Thank you.
You think I have anything better to do than talk about Persona 5 spin-offs?
No, I've seen your Twitch schedule. I have seen so listen, you're going to have to head out because unlike unlike Michelle, you have a real job. You have like adult things to do. Where can people find you?
Oh my god. So you can find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is ajames347. You know, hit me up, talk to me about anything Shin Megami Tensei or Persona related. You can also find my work on dualshockers.com. You know, my name being Elisa James on the site. And check out all of my news, previews, reviews, editorials, all that stuff. So.
And your podcast?
And yeah, thank you. I know I always forget stuff. Like it's something. So thank you. So yes, you can also find me on my podcast, Mega 10 Marathon. Me and my main co-host Paul. We basically we run through various Shin Megami Tensei games, Persona games, and we do kind of like deep dives into them. So we'll talk about the gameplay, the lore behind the games, the story, all sorts of things. So if you're really interested, like if you want to play along with these games, if you just want to, if you're already big fans of them, you just want to listen in, you know, it's a great podcast regardless.
Okay. Ian, I know you said you have to leave a little bit sooner, but I figured we might as well give you an outro before anything gets too caught up. Where would you like people to find you besides Dual Shockers?
I'm on Twitter and Ian Agosa. It's pretty much it. I'm spending most of my trucking time on Dual Shockers, covering news. If you like Japanese games, if you like niche Japanese games, pretty much everything. I'm pretty much covering everything that's been announced and that's been getting out in Japan, translating the news. So if you like Japanese games, please be sure to check out the site. Please be sure to check out the Circus. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again for coming on. It was nice getting your perspective, especially just because I think you appreciate almost as much as I do. It is very hard to find a lot of people in Western games media who are willing to like put in the time and like actually follow not only Western but also like Japanese game media, just because usually they're so separated and divided.
Definitely, it's pretty hard to find that. It's pretty much always being a niche. It's very rare for a game to become as popular as Persona 5 did.
Really quick, just because in chat, Ian said, "Who made the story of P5S?" Ian Chitkowski. The story was actually not written by anyone at Atlas particular. It was handled by Koei Tecmo.
Oh,
It did have like supervision by the Atlas team and P Studio. But
my bad.
oh, what?
My bad. I said I didn't know. Should have checked before.
No. You're good. It's one of those things where it's really kind of like it's really sort of meddled in terms of like how much work went into what. Like a lot of people don't know that the soundtrack, like besides the fact that Lynn and Lotus Juice worked on it, obviously in terms of some of the vocals themes, none of the P sound team worked on it.
Yeah, that's
and that always blows my mind because like You Are Stronger in particular just sounds like something Soji Meguro could have done.
Yeah.
Hagane, for you, just curious, how much longer how much longer do we have you for?
Well, I have to go. It's almost 12.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, what even time is it for you right now? Because it's 8:44 for me.
11:44.
Okay.
PM.
Well, before you actually have to go, where can people follow the Velvet Network? Because not enough people are following you guys.
You can follow Velvet Network in Twitter and YouTube. You can find we speak Spanish too. If you speak Spanish, you can follow us and see the latest news of Atlus games in Atlus, Megaten, and Sega games in general.
Hagane, maybe one day in the year like 20XX, I will maybe speak enough Spanish that I could actually be on one of your guys' videos and not vice versa.
Yeah, you can always sub you in Spanish.
Oh, I don't think there's enough time in the world to ever make it fair for somebody to have to subtitle all the garbage that comes out of my mouth.
Yeah, well, we can do it. We can do it.
We had a new person come in here. I have to desperately get a drink of water, but first I just want to welcome in our next guest. We have Happy, otherwise known as sometimes on Twitter talking about Persona 5 Scramble, sometimes not on Twitter talking about Persona 5 Scramble. So, Happy, I gotta ask. Yeah, so Happy, Happy, I think you can introduce yourself better than I can do yourself credit for. So please, for everyone listening out there.
Hello there. My name is Happy, as some people call me, or as most people know me, at localizedp5s on twitter.com. And the great way to start my Friday. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, you mean last Friday? Oh my god, I got my hopes up thinking today was Friday. Like, no, it's still Tuesday. So, Happy, obviously, your journey is like 2.5 months away from coming to an end. My first question to you is this: what is the plan as soon as the game is actually out? Because like I think you can still get some life out of that Twitter account until it's in everyone's hands. But then once it's in everyone's hands, and it's like, okay, well, we're not waiting for the Russian translation, so clearly the game is out.
I was gonna make it a countdown, but someone swooped that idea, so it's basically like a news account now. I don't really know what I want to do. I might just leave it up as like an archive and like tweet on it like once a month or something.
I'll say this: once the game is out, you are no longer allowed to lock that Twitter account. We're putting it on permanent, like has to be for historical archiving purposes.
I will leave it up for the archives.
So take us back really quick. Trailer leaks Thursday/Friday, and it's out now. Where are you at mentally right now?
Where I was at Friday or now?
Yeah, I guess yeah. Emotions are definitely gonna be different. So when you saw the trailer leaked, first stuff, like what was your reaction and like how did you feel about it?
This is an interesting story. So my ass was asleep when this thing came out.
As it should be. It was like 11 o'clock at night.
I wake up to like maybe like 50 Discord pings. I'm like, what the hell happened here? And then I checked Twitter. I see like 20 plus notifications. Like, oh Jesus Christ! And then I checked like the quote retweets on my news account. Like, oh, this age spoil. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I go on. I forgot how I even found it. I think it was on Discord. I just see this link of just announce, and I'm like, like what is that? And then because that video was taken down by that point, so I had to watch your upload.
I know. Sorry about that mobile quality.
I was like, oh god.
So
yeah, that was
so now though, now that we've like gotten it officially and we've gotten all the stuff for it, how else are you feeling about it?
oh god. I definitely care because it was like this kind of thing of like who really cares about the game at this point? But like, I definitely cared.
Oh my god! Hey man, there's for like the whatever like 200 people who joined us on like our reaction live stream, like the demand is clearly there. Like as many people who are ready to make fun of this game for taking 9 million years to come out. I think like the best way to put it is against Atlas West's best efforts to market this game poorly, people still care about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I think that was what made me happy. Seeing this game trend when the trailer got leaked, I was like, oh, enough people still give a shit. Thank God.
How
That was my
legit
word.
kind of sad was it that it trended when it leaked and did not trend when it was actually announced? That was like low key a little sad.
No.
To be fair, I don't know if it would have leaked if it got drowned out by everything and so on. I think this was in Atlas's benefit.
True.
Would have been a lot nicer if it got revealed at the Game Awards there, Jeff. But
I
I
honestly like going back to like what Michelle says. I think the leak was better. Like I think if this was just one of like 30
Wow.
announcements, I think we would have been excited, but like it would not have picked up in other news stories and stuff. You know.
Especially since
Yeah.
it was going to. Especially since what isn't Lynn and presumably this announcement wouldn't that have all
Yeah.
been in the show?
yeah, it
So
was.
that doesn't help either. You know, the pre-show where everyone's favorite trailers go. That's where they shoved No More Heroes 3. You know, because it's where Jeff puts the games he doesn't really care about. So
I mean it. I think obviously like this is all like kind of retrospect. I hope that the Game Awards, the Scramble was not its biggest announcement. I hope for them that like
Hope not.
yeah, like
Oh, dear Lord.
I'm hoping we get something like crazy. I want to see some more like next gen stuff because like even going back to it, I still think like it's a weird thing to tie it to. Like I don't associate the Game Awards with Persona. Like I still think like Atlas is a little too small for that, and like that's nothing against the company. It's more just like when I think of Game Awards, I think of like big AAA game reveals, not games that came out 10 months ago in Japan.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to do something Persona related because of the Joker reveal in Smash that was 2 or 3 years ago. I forgot. Maybe
That was
would be
2 years ago,
something
and to make it like more crazy. Like, you remember because of how crazy that reveal was. Then the next year, everyone was like, "Oh my god, who's going to be in Smash next? Who's going to be revealed in Smash
I'll
next?"
never forget it.
Oh,
Yeah.
And instead,
I
no,
will never
like
forget.
think of, this is how they closed the last 2 shows out: Joker in 2018, Fast and Furious in 2019.
Vin Diesel came out and friggin' told us all to play Fast and Furious, and then they gave the award to Sekiro, which was not what we expected, and then they left. I will never forget. I want to tell this story very quickly. That night was one of the funniest things ever. So for me, because basically, good friend Oziak, he told me because like we were all dead certain. All right, Character Pack 5 here at the Game Awards. It's gotta happen for Smash. And Adam freaking says like, I will promise you this: if the 5th character is not revealed at the Game Awards, I will kill myself. Is what he actually said. And then it didn't happen. So after the Game Awards ends, he just leaves the call. So yeah, he just left the call. Meanwhile, we're all completely just flummoxed because like all of us kind of agreed out of the 6 nominations, we were like, okay, it's probably going to be either Death Stranding or Smash that wins, But no matter what, there's no way it's Sekiro. It was Sekiro.
I love that you thought Smash Brothers would win Game of the Year. That's like I just love what a childish mind like you guys have. Like cuz like when you guys are like Persona 5 Royal is my favorite game of all time. I'm not even mad. I just want to rustle your hair and say you silly kids. Go play some other games.
I'm making I put this on Twitter. My plan is to eventually play everything Megaten. I'm adding to a tier list gradually as I do it, and we'll see if something overtakes it.
Michelle, you're already farther than most English Megaten fans. You're playing Persona Q2. Most fans don't even admit that game exists.
I'm playing Q2. I put Catherine Full Body on my Megaten. I'm gonna be playing Persona 1 soon. I'm very cool. So my first experience with Nocturne is gonna be a broken remaster. I'm excited.
Oh my gosh!
I cannot wait for that.
It's 2021. I'll say this: it's gonna be a weird year for Atlas. I don't know if it's gonna be good. I don't know if it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
I just more think of it's funny of like I remember reviewing how Atlas did in 2019. I was like, they did okay. I mean, they released Catherine Full Body. They did Persona Q2 that like 3 people bought, but they did okay. They didn't do like that bad of a year. And then like comparing it to this year of like they released so many games, but then at the same point like they just made so many bonehead decisions this year. It's like, how did you guys do more and worse at the same time? Like in a year where they released Scramble. In the year where they released Scramble, Royal, and 13 Sentinels, I should be like praising them as like the goats of like publishing companies, and like I'm just shaking my head all the way into 2021.
Yep. One day.
So my throat is absolutely like getting destroyed from all this, and I have to slowly start wrapping up. Also because God forbid I don't get any sleep. Before that, I did put a call out for questions really quick, but I just wanted to kind of just run through with you guys just because I haven't actually asked all of you, and this has been fun to sort of ask because we're on the cusp of the 25th anniversary for Persona next year. What is one thing you guys are all expecting to get? Now, Michelle, I know you got to answer this last time, but that stream died so abruptly, I'll just pretend that didn't actually happen. Right. So, Happy, we'll start with you. Like, what's one thing, whether you're hoping for or expecting for the 25th anniversary? Like, what's one big thing for you?
I think Persona 3 on PC will be something that will happen.
Now, which version, though? Do you have the cojones to bet which version?
I want it to be Fez, but it'll probably be portable.
The correct answer. Ian, what about you? What are you thinking for the anniversary year? Realistically.
Realistically. I wanted to say that Persona 6 announcement.
No, we don't allow Persona 6 talk. Persona 6 is a banned word on this podcast. That just brings false hope and dreams to people.
I'm not sure. Honestly, I would really love another sequel for Persona 5 because I really love the characters. And I love the characters in Persona 4 too, but like when seeing all the additional games in Persona 4, I was like, oh yeah, they're making this again. But for Persona 5, I definitely don't have this feeling, and I definitely want to see more of the cast of Persona 5. So yeah, another Persona 5 game, like a fighting game or something.
I know what you mean, because like I just like people keep saying, oh, they're probably done after Strikers, like they're probably not going to do any more, because like most of the spin-off projects or non-mainline attempts at Persona 5 have honestly been failures, like the anime, not the manga. The manga's awesome. Yeah. Please, more people check out the manga. Obviously, dancing wasn't like everyone's cup of tea. Q was pretty much like a like just quiet release, but I feel it in my gut. I'm like, I feel like if they can like knock it out of the park like they did with Strikers, whether it be a brand new game or even Strikers 2, I really think that they could send off this series like really well with like one more final epilogue game for Persona 5. Like I feel like they could really like kind of send it off well if they put the time behind it, but I also am like kind of like I don't know if Atlas has like the faith in it anymore like they used to.
I think it's unfortunate because, like, at least for me, like, I've enjoyed every P5 spin-off game. Like, I loved dancing. I'm really enjoying Q2 right now. I Strikers. So, like, it's unfortunate that basically all of them have done poorly. I mean, the anime sucked, but, you know, that's fine. I don't need to talk about that.
$300 later, it was worth it.
I'm very hopeful for any game Atlus is going to put up next, because this is going to be the first games they're really developing since they were bought by Sega. So I hope they have more films now to do more ambitious games, basically.
Yeah, for sure, and I think just because even comparing the Strikers as a non-mainline game compared to the internally developed ones, you can tell they're willing to take the risk on it, especially with looking at sales. Like now, Strikers in Asia and Japan alone is like the third best-selling game almost in the entire Persona series. Like it sold better than Persona 1, 2, 3, and 4, not counting Golden. It sold better than Q2, Arena, Ultimax, all the dancing games. It's just been a sales juggernaut. It's not even out in the West. SSJ in the YouTube chat has been asking this. I've been meaning to go to it. They ask, do you think that Atlus owns the new characters that Koei made for Strikers, aka primarily Wolf and Sophie? The way that's really worked is that those characters are all part of the intellectual property with P Studio. So even though like Atlus and Koei Tecmo co-developed them along with like the story, since they are the publisher, like there is no co-publishing rights. It is all still Atlus at the end of the day. At the very least, I hope if there's ever like a crazy Warriors All-Star 2 or in Warriors Orochi 5, if by some dumb miracle we get Wolf as a playable character, I would be all here for it. Oh. I mean, like, if they can have the Atelier games be in, like, Warriors or Muso games and stuff like that, like, if Wolf can live on as kind of like the Koei Tecmo, like, Atlus connection, I'll be very happy.
Yeah, so same here.
Michelle, before we try and wrap up, and good lord, I will definitely wrap myself up and probably die once this episode's done, because I did not think this was going to go for like 2 hours. Any last realistic 25th anniversary predictions?
I mean, I said it last time. I want P5 Arena a lot. I think I'd be down with that. I think that's at least semi-realistic that they do, because it feels like that one spin-off everyone kind of wants and expects.
It's weird. It's like everyone wants it, but Atlus. I think I've never been asked more about a game than Persona 5 Arena. It's like I think more people just want a follow up to Ultimax than it being P5 Arena.
Yeah. One thing I was gonna ask, because I saw some people bring this up in chat last time. I feel like we already know the answer, but do you think Atlus will at least look in the direction of Persona 1 and 2 this time?
Well, they have to with Strikers at the very least, because it is like part of it's like there is like references in the music. For the anniversary, I think realistically we'll be lucky to get a montage from Japan. Like me being optimistic, starry-eyed dreamered. Just throw those phone ports, like just throw those crappy phone ports into like a $20 like downloadable collection. Like nobody.
Yeah, just throw them on Steam. I don't care. Like
yeah, it's like just like give people a way to play SMT1. Well, sorry, because this is all Persona, so those wouldn't even actually count. So at the very least, I think if they find an easy way to emulate in Unity, most likely. I think if they find another way to emulate the PSP engine, they could probably just do 1, the 2 duology, and 3 portable, as like put all those out at once, because those are all basically running on like the same thing. Like 3 portable's a little bit different, but it's not doing anything like that much more intense, and they're all still like working off like the same base core engine. So I think just get those PSP games on more platforms. I know people out there would be like, oh, I want the original, blah, blah, blah. But obviously, like, those PSP games are going to have the most quality of life features. And just for the love of God, give people a way to play Eternal Punishment that's not the PS1 version.
Yep.
Also, I just have to bring this up. I get asked this, like, all the time. Before we end, Mirth brings this up as a joke, but, like, Mirth says, P3 remake, baby. I get unintentionally people like telling me it's happening, dude. Like, there's a reason.
God,
like,
I
like,
wish.
I had someone be like, dude, why else would they make Persona 3 dancing? That clearly it was just like a teaser for like the remake, and I'm like, dude, like I wish I could be
Oh,
like that
dude.
optimistic, but it's like, like me personally, I'm like, no, like am I saying no? It's never happening? Of course not. But like, is a Persona 3 from the ground up, like Final Fantasy 7 remake, ever happening in like the next 5 years? No way. Like, does anyone here actually realistically think a Persona 3 remake is happening?
I want it.
No.
That
I
doesn't
think
mean it's
Persona
happening.
4 remake is more likely, just because 4 is more popular. But I mean, I want it. Like, I would love if P3 got remade and they fixed all, but it won't happen.
Super Gamer Guy brings up a great point. Like, honestly, like, my big thing for the 25th anniversary, if you do these 3 collections, it will make everyone super duper happy.
Yeah, that's true.
Do Persona Q 1 and 2 in HD, put it on everything, whatever.
Yep.
Persona 3 and 4, put it on everything, and then the PSP trilogy, 1 and the 2 duology. Like, if you put those 3 collections out, you would do a slam dunk 25th anniversary year, even if those ports were all like Nocturne. Like, no matter the quality, just because of the platform accessibility, like, that would be a slam dunk year. Also, Edward Robles has asked this a lot. Will Scramble run better on PS5? 100%. I have gameplay of me on this channel playing. It is 4K 60. Just enjoy it and pretend you'll never play it on Switch, and you can enjoy that for the rest of your life.
Pain.
Do we think Steam is gonna run better than PS5?
At launch, probably no. I think it's definitely gonna have options. Like, it's probably going to like maybe have a more uncapped past 60, because backwards compatible PS4 games can't go over 60 even on PS5. So like maybe you'll see like 120 mod. I don't know if it'll be there from the get-go, but like I think eventually, yeah, like with mod support, like it'll definitely run better. Hard to say. I'm still like holding out hope that there will be a native version eventually. Like, I just can't imagine they're not going to do it, but Atlas is weird. They also released like last gen games in 2014 and never put it on current hardware. So they're a weird company. It's hard to tell.
They'll do whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of doing whatever they want, I have desperately got to wrap this podcast up. Thank you guys so much for not only watching this live, but coming onto this. I had like the loosest of plans for who was actually going to be on this, but you guys made it very, very fun. So thank you all for anyone who watched this live, and for everyone still left in the Discord call. If you want to just tell everyone where they can find you. Happy, where can people find you when you're not moping around on Twitter?
Find me on Twitter. Well, I just have my localized P5S. I don't know what's going on with that account, but follow it while it's up. And yeah, that's basically it. I have another Twitter account. It's just Happy0350 if you want to follow me.
Positive tweets only. Ian, you stayed so long. I will let you say your Twitter one more time, just because you were that much of a good sport.
Yeah, I put my link of my Twitter on the chat. So yeah, it's Ian Agosa, and it's A_Ian07. It's a reference to Ryukishi07, the author of Igarashi Ibineko. I'm a huge fan of that. Yeah, and you can find me on DualShockers writing about Japanese news on a daily basis.
All right, and
thanks
Michelle.
for me.
Oh, sorry, keep going.
For having me. Thanks for listening. Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it. It was pretty fun. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It was nice getting to meet someone new, especially from the DualShockers family. And we made it the whole episode without making fun of Cam. I was very proud of myself. Michelle, you have also been a great trooper, not only for this entire episode, but for the entire reaction last time. You were the embodiment of Adam for the entire episode, so I'm sorry you had to be his surrogate, even if it was unofficial.
That's not a weight I wanted to bear.
You're like his lich. Like, no matter I imagine like his soul is just like somewhere out there, and you just get to like have to be like the poor keeper of his body while he's out there making bad life decisions in Florida.
I'm the Ozyak spokesperson.
That sounds like something you should get like a tax deductible like a voucher for at the end of the year.
I feel like I should, yeah.
So Michelle, where can people find you and all of your antics when you're not being forced on here to talk about P5?
Most commonly you will find me. I'm on Twitter. I'm Seniorish everywhere. Senorish. I'm on Twitter. I make funny tweets. Earlier today, I tweeted about wanting Shinji to have sex with me. So follow me for that.
Awesome.
I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Seniorish. My next stream is probably going to be my reaction to the Game Awards with a bunch of my friends. So that'll be really fun. And I've been doing more stuff on YouTube. Not a ton. I'm not going to promise much. Right now, it's a lot of Twitch VODs. One of the things I've been uploading recently is me and Oziak have been ranking every single remix in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So that's fun. We're like halfway through.
So I'm assuming you're not counting new arrangements. It has to be a remix.
Just remixes from across the entire Smash. So no, if it's tagged as a remix in the music menu, we're ranking it.
So you'll be done by the time Persona 6 gets announced. Then
we're about halfway through. So I would say I don't know. We're not going to be done by the end of the year, I'm gonna guess, but we'll get there. Okay. So yeah, I'm uploading those. So be sure to subscribe for in 7 months when we rank all of the Persona. And I don't know, I might also make other YouTube videos, and that's basically everything I'm up to.
Alright, well, when I'm not dying, or making YouTube videos where I should be sleeping and not podcasting because I'm very sick, you can find me on Twitter. I am at Torchwood4SP. You can also find Shin Megami Tensei Network on Twitter at SMT Network. You can join our Facebook group by going to facebook.com/groups/SMT Network. You can also join the YouTube channel. I don't know why I said join it. You can just subscribe to it. We are super close to 2K. That would be really crazy. I'm surprised to hit 1K. So either way, if you watched my re-upload of the Strikers video, please enjoy. I am still laughing at the fact that I have more views than Atlas West does officially for that trailer. So I'm gonna yuck it up until that finally gets ratioed as it should be. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching live. Thank you all for joining me live as a co-host with the co-most. And I'm going to say goodbye now so I can get a drink, take a lot of Mucinex, and hopefully wake up and feel better because Super Gamer Guy 64 does not want me to die, and that would be bad because like even though I beat Scramble, I would like to platinum Strikers. That would be fun.
Mm-hmm. That'd be good.
So, goodbye, everyone. We're going to say goodbye and pretend that this is how we all say bye. So, bye. We're waving. You just can't see it.
Bye.
See you later. See you guys later.
That went on for so long. My wife is going to kill